Welcome to a different episode of the Chairsofter Show on location this week. Very kindly invited to ASG by JB. So JB's with us and Clark as well. I did remember.
Sorry.
The only guy that said, did you get a prize for guessing where we were going with the exact postcode?
Yeah.
So
what was his prize?
He got a picture of my cat.
Oh.
It's framed already.
So that was the cat on your desk. All right, now I know.
So yeah, we've been invited up very kindly today. We've had a look at some awesome kit. And yeah, so we're just going to have a chat with the guys here from ASG, answer some questions that they've got for us as well. So it's a little bit different. So yeah, is that honest?
This
Questions
is
good.
honest
Okay. So
I've got them on my screen if that helps.
Cool.
Yeah, just so
Yeah.
I can follow some level of formatting.
Yeah.
Because otherwise we could sidetrack very quickly.
Yeah, very easily.
Yeah, we've had a very full day of just some of it on the table is just.
Yeah, this doesn't do justice for everything we've been up to today. So
these guys sworn to secrecy on some things.
Yep.
So more on that later, but
yeah,
it's.
I'm sure you'll see that in due course.
Yeah,
we can have a whole episode just talking about the stuff that you guys got to play with today.
Yeah. So we will come to some of these obviously as we go through, but I guess where we start then is how did ASG start and when?
Do you want to wing it or do you want me to take this one?
Go on, you know the official answer because I know it's a very long time, but seeing as you've been there.
It's a bit of a history lesson.
Brace yourself.
Yeah, basically late 90s, our still MDs, Johnny Pedersen and Henrik Grobelnik, kind of gravitated into our industry. At the time, really, Airsoft was Asia-based. It was just like sort of slipping through the gaps into Europe. Hadn't really taken off in the US yet. And Tokyo Marui were really the only brand that you could get a hold of. And that led to a lot of competition from other Asian areas, and brands like Classic Army started coming about. But they weren't to the standards that we would sort of remember Classic Army as being at from the mid-2000s into sort of present day. And through lots of sort of networking, our two guys, Johnny and Henrik, kind of basically helped bring the standards of the clone era, as it was, of Airsoft, the competitors to Tokyo Marui, up to standards that consumers wanted, internally and externally, and then helped get the product not just into Europe, but into the US. And that would have been late 90s, really into the early 2000s. So, yeah, quite a while. Over 25 years. Yeah.
Cool.
Okay, so moving on. So how long have you both been working for ASG?
You know the answer to that one?
I know the answer to that one. I am coming up to my second year at ASG now. Literally next month, very close to it. So yeah, it's been feels longer than that. Not in a bad way, just because I'm becoming part of the furniture for ASG. So yeah, it doesn't feel like 2 years. It feels more like 8 to 10 years that I've been here. Do you know the answer?
Short. Yeah, mine's a lot shorter. It's coming up to 18 months.
So a little bit behind, but
yeah. So it's a very being here today. It's a very different team, a much bigger team than it was, say, 5-6 years ago.
Yeah.
very, very different approach to things now as well, it seems. So it's good moving forwards.
But that being said, we are still, socially, we're still in contact with people like Gaj and Ben, who, people will be around, and of course Will, who came into the business and now have moved on to sort of pastures new, but they were still a big part of the old office, and now ASG's worked sort of pre-COVID up to now. So that they still potter around a little bit and get to play with some bits.
Cool. Yeah, we keep in touch. It's you kind of part of the ASG family if you like.
Yeah.
It's more through that connection and love of Airsoft because
you love Airsoft.
Yeah.
Still,
I don't love getting shot. I don't think anybody does.
I don't think anybody does.
But watching other people get shot, that's satisfying. Now it's the majority of staff. Again, not all, because again some of it's like really technical business minded, but the actual hands on the ground, the coal face, if you like, of the people that are sourcing the products, or are testing it, and the sales team, a lot of them are airsoft players, and through a couple of years through to how many years you've been playing airsoft now, Clark?
Christ, about 18.
So yeah, so you've got your
On and
veterans,
off.
and I'm fairly new to it, but I've transitioned more towards target shooting and real steel stuff, but it doesn't mean I don't enjoy airsoft.
Which kind of segues into the other side of ASG that a lot of people kind of overlook is we're not just 6mm. Our product portfolio for 4.5mm, like either be it pellet or steel BB pistols as well, which in other markets is a lot bigger than sort of here in the UK and kind of not relevant to everybody. But we're not just on that 6mm face, and some people aren't aware of that.
Yeah.
So, in respects to like, if somebody wanted to get a job at ASG, or is it as simple as just a job comes up and somebody applies? Or
strangely enough, that's exactly what happened with me.
Right.
I mean, having played for so long and been around the retail side of it, and as a hobbyist, you kind of get the impression that to work for a manufacturer outside of Asia, that's impossible. Or it's seemingly impossible because that's where all your favourite factories and your brands are from. And even ASG being the head office being based in Denmark, you kind of don't think that a brand like this that's got the reputation and the sort of history to it is on your doorstep. But I was just scrolling one day, and I live 15 minutes up the road, so it is quite literally on my doorstep. And the role was there. I actually applied for as a technician, as our service technician that I think you guys have sort of covered, or we might talk about in a bit, the service department we've got. But my background is just in sales. So the application, I think actually Jack shared it. I was on the jail's Facebook page.
Yeah.
And I replied to that. So it was that easy.
all right,
Yeah. Mine, I was actually, as the other side of that coin is like you're contacted by recruiters, and it was just through LinkedIn. So make sure you got your LinkedIn update. You never know. Just saying, hey, look, we've got this marketing-based job close to Mansfield, so I'm a little close to the office. I'm 10 minutes up the road. I just thought, you know what, it's really close to home. I'll give it a go. Turns out it was for Action Sport Games, and here we are, nearly 2 years later.
Yeah.
And as Clark said, we were looking to expand the UK office, and weirdly, out of that, like three really strong candidates came forward, and I think I wasn't part of the decision making process, but three separate job roles came out of it because there were talents for each individual. And we said we can't afford to let that go. So
that's what ASG are good at, is recognising talent, and it's something you see over in Denmark as well. The progression of people that come in and maybe start as or either in the service department or on the production line, and they have a skill set and they have that talent. It's recognised, and those people might end up becoming a product coordinator or moving somewhere else in the business where they can utilise that skill set they've got. And like Jack says, there were three of us turned up for one job, and it was recognised we kind of all fit in three very different areas. One guy went into that service department. The other did come on board as a product coordinator, and I came on board with my history and background in sales to look after our UK and Irish market. So the identity, if you've got that talent, then it will be recognised.
Yeah, the only advice we can give to anybody that's interested in this sort of getting a job in airsoft is keep CV up to date, keep looking, and it may happen sort of rarely, but it does happen. Just keep an eye out for it. We do have a jobs page on our website if it's ASG specific that you're after. We do post it on LinkedIn, we do post it on socials, and we just and hence why it went on the jail. I actually advocated to say, look, let's get it out into those communities.
Yeah.
You want somebody that's got the knowledge. There's no college or university course for this type of thing.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Maybe in America.
It's quite a niche.
It is.
Maybe in America for the real steel stuff, they're completely different on the gun culture than we are. But yeah, it's just I wanted to put it to the people that the only people that really understand it are the people that are in the hobby or the sport, however you wish to phrase it. So reached out to Justin and said, "Hey, look, can we put it on your page?" And we did it on a couple of pages, and got quite an impressive feedback. We even had people from like actually in like Asia, Japan, China, saying, "If I move, can I come work for you?"
Yeah.
It's like, wow, okay, it's kind of a bit of a role reversal.
Yeah.
It's a bit surreal as well if that opportunity does come up, because I mean I was sat at uni back in 2008 2009 while we're playing, thinking really to work in this industry you've got to move. It will not come to you. You've got to go to it. So it's the stars have got to align, but we are always on the lookout for talent. And like JB says, keep an eye on LinkedIn, on the socials, and if there is anything there, or never shy away from putting your name forward.
Yeah, we entertain it. We can't promise we can do anything with it, but we always, you never know. As we found with Clark, he came for the technician job and has ended up still working for ASG, just with a different hat.
A different role.
Yeah.
So I'm going to mix this up a little bit. I'm going to go down there. So because it sort of leads into the others. So with the new team behind ASG in the UK now, very still keeping in touch with them, but also sort of seemingly down a different path to what we've had before in some respects. How do you plan on getting the ASG brand out there and reaching the wider community in the coming months, years?
Oh, there's a bit of a two-pronged attack.
It is tag team. Part of what Jack and the marketing team do will hit the web-based side of that, and getting the interaction from players while they sat at home in the chairs.
Questions about when's the P10C coming out? It's already out.
Yeah.
Finally, someone's been waiting for it.
And now they go, instead of P10C when, it's now Bren 2.
Yeah.
Gas blow.
Don't even get started on. But then it's kind of my responsibility as the person in charge of sales for the UK to really be out there and be among the players. And it's something that we kind of had to put our priorities elsewhere in maybe the last 18 months, as other things have been going on in the business. But 2024 really is, I mean, you guys have seen the whiteboard in our office today. The plans are in motion to try and get out to here, there and everywhere. We always want to know about the sites that you guys want us to come down to as well. So you can see the goodies firsthand and have a bit of a play and a chai of them. But yeah, we'll be on the road. I'll have my obscenely big tent. We'll have all the samples and the goodies out there. So really it's about being face to face with the community. And I think by being someone that's in the community, you can kind of relate more to what people want, as a player. Because they want to see alternatives to what we've got. They'll want to see alternatives to what they've got that we can possibly deliver as well.
Yeah.
And I'm sure if you'd like to see the guys at any of your local sites or your favourite sites, drop a comment or drop a message. I'm sure they'd love to hear your suggestions.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, we're always open-minded for stuff. We can't always promise everything because otherwise we'd never rest. But just to tie in with it, from my perspective, is it sounds really creepy when I phrase it like this, but I read all the comments. So your Facebook, your Instagram, your TikTok, YouTube, LinkedIn, even Discord. So we're part of a few communities. I try not to spread myself too thin. So the one that I'm most active in, I seem to get the most feedback, positive, constructive feedback. As I was explaining to you earlier, we don't mind criticism just as long as it's constructive. If you've got a problem with something or you think something was a bad idea, tell us why. Give us reasons. Don't just say, "Oh, it's crap." We can't fix that. If you say it's crap because it's not feeding correctly and the spring's rubbish, okay, right, now we're starting to see a few people comment on a similar thing. Right, we will listen. It may take us a while to, when you've got hundreds, if not thousands, of products to go through and to test and to replicate, the more information you give us, the more we can feed back to it. And it's, from my side, it's getting that interaction from people. It's like, I welcome all comments. I'll be a bit playful sometimes. I know I've spent a lot of time winding you up about the P10C.
Yeah, deservedly so.
But, it's not for lack of wanting to share the information with people and to engage and to, get hands-on, but we can only do so much. the team has grown, but we're still for an international company we're still such a small team for being able to travel everywhere. But for me, I get to sit behind a computer all day, so chat through, send through. 99% of the time, it's going to be me that's reading it.
And you keep all the nasty ones, don't you? You've got a folder of post-it notes that you
end of the year
nasty ones
compilation, so be careful. But for actually coming up to sites, there is some restrictions about how we have to do that. It's all red tape legal. But if I can correlate it with Clark, we'll come down. I'll try and show up and pass it off as a media event and get you posted all over ASG socials.
Speaking of, if you take any or have any pictures taken of yourselves while you're at game sites, please do tag the socials, because Jack will share them. And you can be Facebook famous for 30 seconds.
Yeah, get officially posted by ASG. Seeing some responses to that is quite interesting. When people tag us with like their Evos or their Shadow 2s, in the direct messages going, "Oh my god, I can't believe you shared it." I'm just like, it's a cool picture.
Yeah.
It's like, we play the game too, we understand it.
Yeah.
Send me a cool picture, 100% happy to share it. But if you don't tag me, I don't know. I don't have all day to sit there and go through and scroll and find them.
Across one.
100% tag us. I will see it at some point, hopefully within the first sort of couple of hours, and I will reshare it, and I do my best to try and respond to everybody.
And we've had like the accounts for CZ reshare then our posts, because we will tag them in it.
Yeah,
and we do the exact same thing. We fangirl. Oh my god!
Yeah, CZ. Yeah. So we really are like you guys. We are normal people.
Yeah, they turn around to us and go, "Oh,
it's just a cool picture."
That's the great thing about working and having the partnership with the licenses that we've got, is it all trickles down, and whether you're into airsoft or whether you're into full bore or whatever it might be, we all kind of, hate to use the phrase fangirl, sort of the same. We all get excited over seeing our kit being shared by.
Yeah, absolutely.
And because we've got the likes of CZ and Steyr and LMT, when we've got those products to share, then and they share it as well. It's like, oh, you get giddy. It's great. Especially when you see it at shows like IWA as well.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm going to go rogue as well. So, from deciding what gun to replicate, how long would the process take from like somebody having the idea to the final product being in someone's hands?
The short answer is, how long is a piece of string?
I knew you were going to say that.
But a more detailed answer, it can vary wildly. So the P10C, for example, a little over 3 years.
Yeah.
But that's without giving too much away. That's not because it's a off-the-shelf solution with some modded tweaks. That is an ASG design.
It's been built from the ground up.
Yeah, it's not you're making something similar to that. Can we make some tweaks? That is we're making this.
Yeah.
This is ours. We own it. So that process, to answer that question.
Yeah.
So if you go down that road, 3+ years.
Yeah.
If you go for your more standardized things, if a company just happens to be making something similar, you can speed it up to sort of 12 to 16, maybe 18 months. It depends.
Yeah.
It depends on the testing, the requirements, what's going wrong as the changes that you've done caused a problem, the amount of testing.
Yeah.
And we would rather go through that pain of it taking 2+ years to get a product from concept to out to be at least what you would expect it to be, because perfect is in the eye of the person doing it.
Yeah.
What is perfect? Like, a lot of people go, "Oh yeah, the P10C," and other people go, "Oh, it's rubbish." I was like, it's nothing to do with the performance.
Who says that?
It's just preference, isn't it? What is one person's favourite product or gun, or how it particularly sounds or feels, is not the same for somebody else. And we're not stupid; we accept that.
Yeah.
But yeah, concept to finish, at least 2 years.
To put that into perspective, though, I came from an industry where we worked on a 5-year lead time. So from the first concept arts and things being drawn and ideas being put on a whiteboard, it could be up to 60 months before that product was on the shelves, because it goes through so many stages of revision and approval. I wouldn't say one of the most difficult things that we have to contend with, but the licenses, we want to put say CZ's name on a product that we are happy to take to CZ and say, this is our replica of your product. And if they're not happy with it, then we don't want to put it out because we don't want to sort of damage their reputation as much as our own.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So as a sort of roundabout, you can kind of take that and say, well, our products, because they're licensed by, whether it's CZ or Steyr, again, whoever it might be, we've kind of gone to the lengths to say we would be happy to put this in the hands of the people making the real steel variant. So you can be safe in the knowledge that we've kind of put all the blood, sweat and tears into making it everything we can do.
Yeah.
Because we don't want it to land on the fields and folks go, well, this is rubbish, I've wasted my money, or them all come back because there's a fault or anything like that. We were having a discussion before recording that we've gone through over half a dozen versions of the P10 to finally get it to a place where we're happy to say, let's put this in people's hands. And sadly, that does have an impact on when you can release the product. But patience is a virtue, folks. You know, who knows what's sort of in the pipe work that might still be a couple of years away.
Yeah.
But that time really is there to sort of say, we've got it right. And you don't always get it right, that's the thing. Version 1.0 of something might still need a few tweaks that we learn about.
Yeah.
Once it's in people's hands, but rest assured we take that on board, like Jack was saying, give us the constructive criticism and we will ensure that we
it's no good saying this pistol's a load of rubbish and ending it there, is it? This pistol's a load of rubbish because every time I do this it does this. But that's what you want.
We have steps in place sort of at head office in Denmark when products come in or they're ready off the production line. The QC that we try and ensure goes into everything, whether it's been built in Denmark or brought from elsewhere, everything has to go through that same scrutiny, because if we send a batch of guns that, again, we've either built or that we've brought in and there's an issue with it, then that's a massive headache to fix.
Yeah.
So your favourite products might be out for a little while, but rest assured it's because we're working on making better.
I think this is always a nice one that I like to go back to when we talk quality, because it's something that a lot of people from like NAF and various other events have asked, like for kind of clarification on a similar question, is the BB side of things.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of, not every company, but a lot of companies will, because there's a limited number of factories around the world that make them, maybe put their own little formulation, little tweaks in, get the bottles, put them on the shelves, done. We opt to cut out that bottling. We take the raw concept. It's all then produced. And then that's quality checked. We then put it through a 3-step quality check process
in Denmark
in the head office. So we are verifying the verification. We then and the bottles. I learned this not so long ago that the bottles are also made in Denmark.
Yep.
Which is quite refreshing. Trying to be as European as possible. And then they are all bottled when they pass the 2 separate quality screenings, both at a 3-step process, and then bottled by one person.
So
ASG office.
Part of our warehouse is dedicated just to
not
that.
It's semi-automated.
You have to load the stickers and the bottles into hoppers and things like that. But
it's all manned by one person.
All the raw material basically lands in Denmark, and like Jack says, it's that having that responsibility of the quality. We can say we have done our checks, and even though they've gone through the checks where they're manufactured, where they're produced, we still get a lot of raw material that doesn't pass our standards. And this is what maybe other brands of BBs are still going into your guns or you know, that you're using. So we're just trying to get that. People often ask, what is diamond grade, or what are these different grades of BB? And really it is down to the material used, but also the check to make sure that we don't jam your barrel and then end up stripping your gearbox because you've got a basically a plug in there. You know, and over my years I've seen some weird shaped pellets, to say the nobody around. You know, but we have a great process in place to make sure your blaster BBs don't sort of fall under that trap.
We try to get it as close to perfect as possible. Again, perfect is a perception.
Yes.
But we strive to get as close to that as possible. I think if you ever say to yourself, we've achieved perfection, you're not setting your standards high enough, or you're just willing to accept
Yeah.
that you can't be bothered to keep pushing that boundary anymore.
Yeah.
So, which is why I use that term. Why I'm not saying it's perfect, because standards keep changing, and that's what we want to keep pushing for.
But just as a last point on that, you will often hear, "Oh, but all the BBs are made in the same 3 or 4 factories," and this, that. Like, that's not a secret. We're all well aware of that. But what steps are being taken elsewhere for those BBs that have come out of that factory before they've gone into your gut?
Yeah,
Like
like
TV panels, isn't it? Like your Sony, your LG, your Samsung, all the panels kind of come from one factory, just with a little bit of a different software or something on it. So
it's like, what's that quality that's been through before it gets to that customer at the end of the day, that quality check.
Yeah.
So, being as we're talking about ASG products, moves me on to the next one. Would be, what are both of your sort of favourite items from the ASG lineup?
You go first, because mine's really underwhelming for a lot of people.
I don't know if mine's going to be that impressive, to be fair. I know I was fangirling over it to you guys in the shooting room. I've got a few, but the one that stands out, and it's pure favouritism for me, is the STI Combat Master. I know you guys have got to see the secret project that's in relation to that as well, and I'm excited for that one as well. But it's been through a lot with me. I've played a lot of games with it. It's such a lovely sound, and just the sheer force of the feedback as it's racking another round in. And it's not to poo-poo over any of our other products, but it's just the sheer visceral sound and thing. You feel like it's close to the real thing. Obviously, it's never going to match it, but it's probably
it's got a violence to it, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Well, if you don't hit them with it, the pure concussive force on
yeah, there's a raw, visceral feel every time that pops off, and I get ready for the audience turning against me now. That I have got a HPA adaptive magazine for it as well. Boo! Yes, I know. But that's in some CQB settings. Just being able to constantly pull that trigger with a high cap and just run it. Something about it. I'm not a CQB player by the long stretch, and I don't run HPA all the time. But every now and then, I've got to scratch that itch. I'm sorry. Go on, let's hear this underwhelming.
Well, it's on a similar vein in that it's a pistol, but then it's the complete polar opposite in that it's not loud, it's not obnoxious, and it doesn't scare the living bejesus out of everybody when you pull the trigger. But it's something that I've bought multiples of. If I've had a failure or it's broke, it's the one product that I've always gone back. And this long before my time at ASG, got to go, well, I've broke this. I want another one. And that's our Mark 23. Yeah. They're workhorses, and you look after them, they will last and last and last, and really they're only going to break if you're an idiot with it. And I did near enough pull the trigger off on the first one I got, because I'd got heavy hands, and and then you pass it around, nobody's trying to rack the slide on it, even though it's a non-blowback, and you break tabs and things like that. But they're very affordable, they're super quiet with very little modification. They being on the opposite end of them, they do come keen if you're too close with it. But just as a something to run with, at the end of the day, when you're knackered and you took all your heavy kit off, it's great to just run around with one of them in a couple of magazines. And I think I bought my first in 2007, because it had been pre-VCRA, and I've gone through at least 4 in that time.
So that's confirmation that Clark's been an idiot 4 times.
Yeah. But no, just cracking little bits of kit, and the aftermarket support that's out there now, and you can do wonders with them. And you see all your ghillie snipers using them. There's a reason.
Yeah. I had the ASG Mark 23 as well. I've had one of them.
I was going to say it's a similar vein as the Tokyo Marui, but for a fraction of the price. It's a no-brainer to go for it at the end of the day.
Yeah, and if you break it, you've not spent over £100.
No, exactly.
You're not, your wallet's not crying as you go to replace it, because you will want another one.
Yeah.
So to round this up then, from us, really this is a 2-parter. So what's your year looking like coming forward with regards to possible products that are coming out or whatever, and what events are you looking to go to as well to show these off?
Sure. Well, we are attending SHOT Show nobody sat here right now is.
Yeah.
But
The American team,
and we've got a guy from the UK heading out there as well for some of his customers. You'll see a lot of the pre-existing product. There may be new products out there, but you'll see all the coverage from the folks out there. And then at the end of February and beginning of March, we're also at RWA in Germany, where you will definitely see some shiny new things that we can't talk about yet. But on the back of those, it really sets up everything else that we've got in the pipeline for the year. The P10C is really the first. We were shipping those on the 2nd of January, so really is the first product of the new year. And there's a variation of it that we've just shown as well, the two-tone with the tan. So that's on the way. And then really it's just a few secret projects that you'll find out about in a couple of weeks.
Cool. You looking at doing any other events as well, sort of like from getting out to meeting your customers, or not your customers, the end users?
Because you've done the Evo events previously
the Evo
as well.
owners.
Yeah, and the No Photos tour and things like that. I mean, really it is, it's trying to fit it into going off. I mean, schedule's incredibly busy because I don't just look after here. I've got international markets as well, so I have to divvy the time up there. But we do endeavour this year to get out and get face to face with as many players and on as many sites as that will have us, so we can again show these things off and put them in people's hands. And it's something that we admit we've kind of not done as much since COVID as we did before COVID. This year is the 10th year of the Evo. There may be something in the pipeline along them lines, other new product launches we might bring on the road with us as well. Just keep an eye on the social posts and we'll let you know if we're there.
Yeah, I think the main thing with it all is getting back into that community, getting that community feedback, and for want of a better word is, and again, this is the kind of vibe I get from the marketing side, is like, oh, of course you're going to say it's the best this, and it's great this, it's great that. And it's like, I'm not shy about putting it in your hand, letting you go run it through a game, come back and tell me what you think. And 9 times out of 10, most people go, oh, wow, it is this. Because, again, a lot of us are players.
Yeah.
We get excited about the same things. We run it through games and test it. And that's one thing I'm, from the marketing side of things at least, and try and support Clark in sales with it, is to throw a bunch of these in a couple of gun cases, go visit a site, let people know that we're turning up, and just go, right, here we go. Come try it, run it, give us feedback, and with a bit of luck, get people thinking more positively about it.
Yeah.
I don't want to force an opinion, but it's like, here it is, make your own opinion.
Yeah.
I've said my piece, believe it or not, put it in your hands, have a go, convince yourself.
Yeah.
Or finally, put your concerns, so like, you know what, yeah, it is what I thought it was, and that's fine, that might not be for you.
Yeah.
Again, constructive criticism.
And if you are a shop or a site owner sat listening and you want us to come and have an event in your store or at your game site, again, reach out to us and we'll try and get something working, because ultimately we want that representation. The market at the moment, and everybody will see this, there's so many names and so many brands out there. We've been around for a long time. We're still really, I'd like to think, in the upper echelons of those tier lists when people do them.
Yeah.
But the way we keep that going and keep getting products into consumers' hands, into the players' hands, is with yourselves. So reach out to us, and if you want to work, then we'll work together.
Yeah. Okay.
Cool.
Do you have any questions for us?
Oh, I've got a lot of questions.
I'm going to regret asking that question.
Yeah.
No, this is kind of borrowed from a lot of similar questions. I'm always interested to understand how people got in a simpler way. What convinced you to first give Airsoft a try? It's always great to see like how people got into it. So if we go across this, what first convinced you to get
initially, it was in days of when, I can't remember the website now, but you could go online and it was like £45. You could have a Cymer AEG in your hand the next day. And I'm sure you remember those days very well, Adam.
Yeah.
I think it was Action Hobbies or something like that was the
Yeah,
website.
it rings a bell, does ring a bell.
Still going.
Still going.
Still going.
Jesus Christ. So, really and truthfully, it was just a few of us just decided to buy these things before the VCRA, and we were just dicking around in someone's garden. It was the most unsafe thing ever, and in hindsight, I don't know why we did it, but
With bright yellow point 12s.
with the
seam
seam
line
around
all
it.
the way out,
Yeah. Oh, I need to pick that back up and shoot it at you again.
Yeah, lots of that. But these were just cheap springers and cheap AEGs, so it was just like you didn't care. It wasn't really till I started at my current job, and I've been there for a few months past my probation, I thought, I want to get back into this and I want to try it properly now and go to decent sites and get into it. It's just gone from there, really. I always had a passion for real steel shooting anyway. These guys know I'll go out to Vegas or somewhere where I can get onto a gun range. I'm going onto a gun range. I don't care how much it costs. I still need to spend $600 in one of the ones in Vegas for the 50 cal machine gun. That was me really. So it was sort of like it went along, and it's nice to sort of, for want of a better term, keep those drills and skills going with something like. If I could afford them, I'd have more gas blowback because it's more realistic. But even so, it's just like picking up a pistol. A lot of people give me weird looks at sights when I pick it up and rack the slide and check that it's clear before I put it away or before I take it out again. It's like, but that's how I was brought up. So that for me really is how I got into it.
Don't knock gun safety.
Exactly.
The general rule of thumb in this office, because as you can see, we've got lots of them lying around. Always at any point, unless checked by multiple people, and we have highlighted individuals for final safety checks, is always, whenever you pick it up, always treat it as if it's loaded. Even the magazine's not in it and you know the battery's not in it, doesn't matter. Treat it as if it's loaded, and the intent that you point it at somebody is to.
Yeah, we don't want that office with iPro. Yeah. I mean, just to piggyback off exactly what you've said there, though, I mean, I came across a video on YouTube just over the weekend where a guy in the States shoots a P10 and he's just picked up our 6mm version and he's got them side by side. And he's like, the weight's there, the manual arms is there as a training tool. We don't see it as much here and in a lot of Europe because of our gun culture, but certainly overseas where you can have the 9mm and the 6 next to one another. They are great tools, and we really do advocate that safety.
Yeah. And it's a cheaper point as well than going out and buying a box of 9mm.
Yeah,
100%. Get a bottle of BBs, you can probably get 6 bottles for a box of 9mm these days. I don't know what the prices are, but it's ridiculous the difference.
A group of friends had played for years, etc., including Adam, tagged along one day and just got into it, and here I am nearly 2 years later now. So just got the book and just a baby, but just got the book and love it now. So
Was it the satisfaction of being able to shoot him?
Yeah.
Even though you're on the same team.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, was that me? Whoops.
Whoops.
It's like those great meme videos, the infamous one with the guy that sneaks up to his teammate and drops the grenade beneath him between his legs.
Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah.
Love that one. It's just, we're on the same team! Love it.
Yeah, and then, blimey, what got me into it?
A few years, don't you?
Yeah, I'm probably coming into about my 21st year playing Airsoft now. I first got into it, I went to, way back in my school days, went to a paintball game with the dreaded P word, with some of my friends from school. It was his birthday, and I enjoyed that, and I thought, I want something more realistic than this, because that was pretty cool, but I want something more. Ended up researching it. Back then, I think my very first ever airsoft gun was a TMP90.
Wow.
My very first airsoft gun, just plinking in the back garden, that kind of thing. And then as soon as I could, started going to games. And then as soon as I got my driver's license, it's just gone out of control then, really. And been playing ever since. I haven't really stopped at any point. I haven't had a break. Like there's some people that you know of, and they'll stop for 6 months or they'll stop for 12 months and then get back into it. I've just been constant all the way.
And they always make a big thing about it as well, don't they? When they do go out for 6 months.
I stopped for 6 years.
We have noticed weirdly on that, because I'm the weird marketing person that likes to do some sort of like market research and stuff, that most people, it's if you can make it past the 3 years, you'll survive to the 5, and then you kind of take that break and come back. But most people will survive to about 3.
Yeah. 4.5 years is the average lifespan of an Airsofter.
So I think I've smashed that then.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I was going to say, I'm well past that now as well.
Yeah.
You got your 5-year goblet and
Yeah.
then your 10-year shield. Yeah.
Have the gold watch soon.
Yeah, that's it.
Well, I don't need to ask how long you've been playing then, because you've kind of alluded to that
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
But with that in mind, then, have you got any standout moments? Like, if you had to pick one moment from your entire history of playing, just one that stands out and makes you go, yeah, you know what, there is. It could have been that. Oh, I'm not going to make this shot, and you've got your sniper, and you just launch it, and you just get that right bit of gust of wind behind it, gets the right curl, and just.
It's the story that you tell all your friends that go, "What's Airsoft?" And it's how you try
to
and
go to how you convince them.
Yeah, I mean, I've got a couple on this because I was thinking of one. There's one that I can't not mention, which was when I went to the first Cool Sun Century event up at Humber, and we decided to sell our friend Robin to NATO for favours, shall we say?
So you were playing Op 4?
Yeah. We just went round and just tucked a pistol down our waistbands just to go and cause chaos.
Brilliant.
And we were trying to drag Robin up a hill to sell her to the NATO boys.
Yeah,
And
great.
there is photos of that somewhere, actually, us trying to get her up the hill. But other than that, I think it's cheesy, but I've got to say when I went out to the States, just to sort of experience gameplay out there, it was just completely different for me. Seeing it's very much more like speedy boy culture out there compared to over here. And it's a lot more rife at the indoor sites, and it was just a completely different experience and one that I'll never forget, to be honest.
Brilliant.
I would argue that it's in American fashion enthusiastic.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my god, yeah, let's have a great time. Ah!
Well, I mean, unfortunately, the site didn't survive COVID, but it was the site owner did make me laugh because he started off the day and then he goes, you can tell the speedy boys have arrived now, and all we could do was just on the walls.
So for me, it's probably I think it was either my first or maybe second game. I can't remember. A certain Mr. Fox will remember this one, where we were playing on opposite teams, having a great time, and then all of a sudden it's raining BBs out of nowhere on my head because somehow he'd managed to sneak up and even with a dead gun was just throwing handfuls of BBs at people and just slammed them on my head. And I was very confused because I was just there like, I don't understand what's happening. But yeah, that was quite a funny moment.
That was good.
Come on, you've got a history now.
Yeah, I mean, there's that many. I don't know how to quantify it, but it's going to sound corny. But you did a surprise game at level 2 for me for my birthday, and that sort of embodies sort of what Airsoft is for me. It is just going, having a great time with your mates, shooting loads of people, having a great time, and that for me is all that Airsoft is: having a good time, shooting with your mates, having a laugh.
I wish I'd videoed that as well. Your face when you realised that everyone was in the site hiding from you.
Yeah,
even I was confused. So I was like,
we set it up so there was a window looking into the site. So we made sure that that's where Adam was. So as soon as he turned
where
up,
we plonked all our kits.
Everyone jumped up that was there because he knew I was up because I said I was going away and then turned up for the meal the night before, but no one else had been up there.
Yeah,
nice.
So all of a sudden there's about 10 of us up there.
Yeah, and it was when I walked in and I'm like, I can't see anyone.
They've got the wrong guy.
I think you did get a few, yeah.
I did a gauntlet.
Oh, yeah, you did, yeah.
Yeah,
they're equivalent of the gauntlet run. Everyone did a tap pause and that was it. So
yeah, about that. No, everyone did tap pause.
Yeah, not quite everybody did tap pause, but rather than run it, I walked.
Ailey slammed it into auto and just dumped him.
Then reloaded.
Didn't happen, by the way, if you're watching level 2.
Tap pause every time.
For insurance purposes.
But yeah, for me, there's just been sort of that many different experiences over 20 years. It's so difficult to pinpoint just one.
This is the thing as well. Once you've been playing for a while, it's like you can sit down at an event like an AF round a campfire with a couple of beers,
loads of stories,
and you'll just be spouting all these bullshit stories from over the years that you've got, and it's just like you'll just remember things randomly.
Yeah.
I think that underpins, and piggybacking off your point about it, is that it's a community thing,
Absolutely.
and quite
Yeah.
a welcoming one at that.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's much like in any walks of life, there is outliers that perhaps go against the grain.
Certain people that we don't name on the show.
So we're not allowed to mention them either.
we don't discriminate, at least on camera. No, but yeah, it's one thing I've seen. Like rewinding 2 years, I dabbled in airsoft a bit. I may or may not have connections to somebody that may or may not own a fairly local side to the ASG office, but I'm revealing nothing beyond that. But that kind of led, every now and then just going on as a rental. Didn't want to invest into too much, but I enjoyed it. And fast forward, and I was like, it's my job now, and people are so welcoming of it. Once you take that step to go talk to people, that it breaks that barrier, because obviously it's friend groups, which is going to segue into my next, because I've kind of experienced it, into the next question of, do you think it's difficult for people that are new to the sport, to the hobby, to come into airsoft? You're certainly a veteran at this point, but if what difficulties do you think people?
I think it depends on the group that's at a site at the end of the day. It depends who's there. We sort of try and welcome people along with us and help them out where we can.
Yeah.
But I mean, I've noticed more and more since COVID as well. Everyone just seems angry at airsoft sites these days at the moment. I don't know what it is, but you notice sort of like there's a lot more confrontation than there would have been before COVID in games, and I think that can be intimidating for a lot of newer players, because
especially when that's all you see on social media, YouTube, etc.
There was a certain video that we got drawn to our attention the other day where basically someone started kicking off about something, someone punched him in the face, and there was an altercation, and it's just like the site dealt with it spectacularly, but you're like, if I was a new player and I saw that, I would be going, I'm not going back there again. I'm playing airsoft again, and this is one of the best sites in the UK that this happened at.
Yeah, I think if you're a new player and you're thinking about giving airsoft a go or trying, and you do know someone or you see someone on social media, a lot of people are happy to say, okay, we're going to this site on this date, come and tag along with us, we'll take you under our wing, so to say. And a lot of people are really happy to do that. And just, I think you'll have a great time.
Yeah.
One thing I did like, a site I used to play at years ago down south, they used to sort of, people like me that they knew played regularly in that, if they had new players, they tended to sort of say, can you just help them out for the first couple of games? And you'd sort of take them under your wing. And then by lunchtime, you go, off you go, have fun. I don't care. You'll be all right. If you get stuck on anything, just come and find me. I'll be somewhere.
Yeah.
Emerson at the Grange, he's been like that a couple of times with us, hasn't he?
Yeah.
He said, like, can you just watch out?
Keep an eye,
keep an eye on these people and that kind of thing. And I'm more than happy to show
especially
people.
with younger players as well, that may just be sort of the other side of 18, so they're getting into it, but they're still a bit young, as it were, in the eyes of the law. Someone that can take them and just help them out. It's a bit of reassurance for their parents as well, to leave them at a site and go, actually,
There's loads of times where you find like a new player in the middle of the game and they're working out why their mag won't work in their gun, or they're just looking a bit lost, and I'll go up to them and I'll be like, "You okay? You need any help? What you trying to do?" And they're like, "Oh, my mag won't work. Oh, you need to wind this little wheel on the bottom."
This is it. There was a guy, to this day I still talk to him. My first game, I took a rental gun and someone had obviously done some work on it and taken the hop off. So I'm sitting there going, I've got no range. I didn't know any better. And he goes, oh, you need to just do this. And I still talk to him to this day about it. In fact, I need to organise a game with him because it's been years. But it's
people to the private game.
I tried. It's a bit far for him.
Not to hijack the question, but I kind of look at this from when we used to marshal at the sites as well, after we'd been playing for a while. It's, if you think you are a good person or you are the person you want to play against in airsoft, bearing in mind it's a game of honesty, it's our responsibility to help these young players out and
100%.
to make sure that the hobby's seen in that positive light.
Yeah.
I mean, you can go and get your clickbaity titles on your videos that you've recorded with your gun cam just to get the views. Such and such smashes cheaters in airsoft. From an outsider's perspective, looking at the hobby, if you see all these videos and YouTube shorts that just say cheater, cheats, cheat, this, that, and the other, it's like, well, why would I want to get into it when it's a game of honesty? When in reality, a lot of those experiences are taken out of context to get attention. When you get on a game site and you're playing against these people, you know, how many times have you called a hit when it might have been a ricochet, or you think you've had it called, you know? And like I think we've all said, that there's outliers that will always be in whatever hobby it is.
Yeah.
I mean, I play a lot of little plastic toy soldiers, and you get people trying to cheat in that hobby as well. But once
Don't let them ruin it for you.
Exactly.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
if you, like you say, you see that new person on a site, take them under your wing. Don't get frustrated with them, because you were brand spanking new.
Yeah.
One
We're
day
all
too.
like
We've
that
all
at
got to
one
start
point.
somewhere.
Yeah. And if your team's losing the particular game you're playing, don't get upset.
It
don't
is a
get
game
angry.
at the end of the day.
That's it. You're there to. Everybody's definition of fun is slightly different, but ultimately you're running around the woods or in a warehouse shooting little plastic pellets at people with toy guns, shouting Wolverines. You know, it's you kind of got to take it for what it is, and then go and play Milsim and see how it. The complete polar opposite.
Or in our case, it's sites just abusing each other down the radios half the time.
Yeah.
It reminds me of this is over a year and a half ago now, when we call it a staff training day. We went to a woodland site skirmish. Thanks, guys. And it was we some of us were. It was our first game. For me, it was a long time since doing it, so I'll quantify it as a first game back, if you like. But there was some younger kids there. Parents were there as well, fretting away, going, "Oh!" And they're there with the rentals, and kids were a little bit, like, as you say, hesitant and unsure. But the marshals were lovely, connected them with regulars. They did that whole thing of guiding them through. We got to lunch. We all had lunch and everything. I'm trying to be sneaky sniper, getting close, playing the complete opposite of a sniper, getting really up close. But get taken out, having to walk back, and people, and the guy that's meant to be looking after this little kid just goes, "Has anyone seen that kid?" And he's just come back from sport, and he's there running in with his shellfish. He's going, "Ah!" And we just go, "I think he's there." So about half a day, he was so quiet, not talking to anyone. He even came up to me and says, "Oh, I think we need to push forward. I'm going to go this way and go around and flank them." I'm just like, "What happened to you? You've said nothing for the first 3 hours." It's like, we've had lunch and you've come back a completely different person. And it's little things like that give me this positivity, this smile about Airsoft. And I'd like more people to see that sort of thing in it. It does have its downsides, unfortunately. I'm sure we've all been cracked in the side of the neck or
shot in the back of the head.
Yeah. I will not apologise for that.
It may not always seem like it, but Airsoft really is a game for everybody. Inclusion's right at the forefront, no matter who you are, where you come from, what your beliefs are. At the end of the day, once that whistle or that game on's called, you're all playing the same game.
Yeah.
I've seen. It's going to kill me because I can't remember his name. Guy, X-Forces. You'll know exactly who I'm on about at some point, hopefully. He attends a lot of these UCAL events as well.
Oh, Steph Horse on Wheels.
Yes.
Yeah.
X-Forces had an unfortunate accident, bless him. Left him in, he struggles.
Yeah.
Predominantly relying on the wheelchair, but he can come out of it for short durations. But he still plays Airsoft in a wheelchair and dominates, given the circumstances. And you just kind of think, if that dude can do it like that, then
anyone can.
And anyone can.
Yeah.
On a similar vein, site up in Lincolnshire Airsoft Club, they had their very first wheelchair-only game the back end of last year.
That's cool.
Their site is 100% wheelchair accessible. They've got more events coming up this year as well. So, there's nobody can say that I can't get into it. Other hobbies for me. It's, all right, not every site's, unfortunately that accommodation.
Same with South Coast as well. Thinking of South Coast, because Gary, the site owner, lovely guy, he's in a wheelchair, so he's got the access around the site.
Yeah.
And the site can be played. So
it's good to see.
It is.
Yeah. And that, ultimately, I guess, business head on from ASG's perspective, it's, and I assume any company's perspective in Airsoft is, you want to see more people playing it. From our perspective, we want to see more people playing it. In a dream world, everybody would be running with ASG products, but it's more about getting more people into the community and keeping it alive.
Yeah.
It keeps the company afloat, keeps us in a job, and keeps people in a hobby, keeps the community spirit going.
Without players, there are no sites, there are no shops, there are no brands like us.
Yeah,
And you do
exactly.
see it when numbers are quiet, in terms of walk-ons or hires at a site. You see the impact that has on like your BB or your CO2 in that particular time frame. So can have a massive impact. So keeping everybody happy, keeping everybody, like I say, helping them feel as included as possible. It's really at the forefront of a lot of people's intentions.
Because I slipped ASG in there, next business-related question. Do you recall the first ASG product you used, and sort of two-pronged, what did you think of it?
Yes, I've still got it actually. It was one of your cheap little Franchi shotguns. We were talking about it earlier. They're what, about 50 quid to get you out there?
Yeah.
Got a little sling with a shell holder on it. I still take that out every now and again just to piss people off,
There's nothing more satisfying than killing somebody with a spring or whether it's a shotgun or a pistol. They've got to stick their hand up and take it.
Well, the thing is, I literally, me and one of my buddies, Aidan, at the site I was talking about earlier when I had the newbie days, and I literally sat in a dark corner in one of the rooms in that building, and I was just holding the door down with a Springer shotgun. There's all these people with AEGs and they couldn't get through because I just had a perfect angle. So every time they got to that door, they couldn't get a grenade round to me. And in fact, no, you couldn't use grenades indoors because it was because of the nature of the building, because it was an old wooden building.
All right, yeah.
You couldn't use pyro indoors. So it was,
Wouldn't be an old wooden building for long.
You might have been able to use BFG. Anyway, I digress. They couldn't get anything into me, so I was literally just holding the door down. Every time they came up to the door, I was taking them out. I even had time to reload a shell between them turning up and that, and you only get 10 out of that.
Yeah. If it's a try shot, 10
the only reason we got hit out was because the guy behind me got shot out from the other side of the building.
Now, cracking bits of kit still available.
Yeah, I know. I see them in the shop. Yeah, definitely. They're worth getting. It's just one of those things. It's cheap and it's a great laugh just to go out there and piss people off.
Surprising amount of range on them as well.
They do go.
Yeah.
So mine, I stole a Scorpion Evo from someone, but it's my favourite for a reason. I shot it. I loved it. I don't think I've very rarely put it down since, basically. And it is no longer Adam's, it is now mine.
It was my Evo.
Yeah, not anymore. But yeah, it's epic, and especially like recently I just used it. We can just go on, like we've done a few upgrades to it, and it's just spot on now.
Yeah.
Can't fault it at all. So yeah,
it's first properly flagship product from ASG.
It's the first AEG built outside, and not just assembled, but built from components sourced locally outside of Asia and in Europe. That's a huge thing that we kind of can't shy away from. We have to keep arcing on about it. It's not just another AEG.
Yeah,
hand built in Denmark under our office in our own production facility where we can keep track on it. We can make the improvements, and you that quality shows, like you say. It's what sounds like instantly become your favourite gun. Yeah, you're not on your own.
Yeah, so my first one, I can't remember which way around it was now. I can't remember if it was the P09 I had first, but I've used the P09, but the Evo again. I had the very first. They didn't even do pre-orders back then. Pre-orders weren't a thing when that sort of came out. But I had one of the first ones when it very first came out, and it was just something a bit different for me because there weren't many things at that point in time that were running like electronic triggers, that kind of thing. So it just had that snappiness about it that I just loved, and I've had various versions of it. So I had the original version. I had the HPA version when that came out. Sold both, instantly regretted both. Ended up rebuying it when the 2018 version came out, which was the sort of, some parts were revised, weren't they?
Yeah.
Had that version, and then, like I say, I've had the P09, I've had the Mark 23. So yeah, I've had quite a few ASG products, and there's a reason for that because they're good.
Well, I appreciate the kind words. Speaking of ASG products, you got to test quite a lot of them today. Love to hear your opinions about them. Should we start with what's on the table? One of our newest AEGs. I know you've just sung the Evo some praises. So we effectively have took the technology and what we can fit into a AR style platform. Not allowed to say copyrighted names, unfortunately. So for those people that have been confused about us saying popular platform, it's copyright reason, okay?
You
It's-
all know
That's
what
not
it
just
is.
being a weirdo.
we're not being funny about it. It's I don't want to get into legal hot water on social media for it.
Ask us on site and we'll tell you exactly what we think.
Yeah. So an AR style platform, or the most popular platform in airsoft, as we've been phrasing it. But we call it the H15 platform. You guys have finally, again, we sing its praises, but it takes back to what I said earlier about putting it in people's hands and letting them form their own opinion. You got to do some semi, some full auto, and some mag dumps.
And some 3-round bursts. That was a bit of a shock to me.
Yeah, we forgot we changed the programmable, and you were showing me how to do it.
I like 3-round burst.
I was going to say, to be fair, that would be ideal for me as well, because I don't use full auto. If I'm in an outdoor site, I use 3-round burst.
Yeah.
Which at the moment I have to do a gate tighten to get a lot of my AGs to do that. So for me, that is an ideal thing to have. It's something, to be
especially
fair,
straight out of the box.
I mean, I'd say fell into the Evo trap. It just wasn't for me. It's like anything. I like it, but it just wasn't for me. And
it looks too small on you.
It does look ridiculous on me. That's the thing.
Like the big show with an MP5.
But then something like this, I'd use every day of the week as a platform. I know it's got the same technology as the Evo, and to be honest, when funds allow, I'm probably going to get one.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, which one I don't know yet.
My choice would be.
I'd probably go for the CQB like
CQB
you,
version,
because
that is predominantly our style of play.
I like the BET, but I want to be able to put a tracer on it as well, because I play a lot of indoor sites.
Do you know what looks really cool? Is if you take the barrel.
We've already shown them this.
Take the barrel from the CQB and drop the BET into it.
Yeah.
That's got that certain 300 blackout kind of look.
Call it the compensator 3000.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, I'd just like to have a tracer on it, but it's a lovely platform. It shoots nicely.
Absolute beast.
It's not too heavy like some AR platforms or popular platforms, I should say, can be. Use your.
Oh, you can
and
say
it just feels nice. It just feels nice and solid as well.
Yeah. There's no wobble. There's no rattling. You've got the real steel parts on there, or the PTS, which PTS is always a good brand to get anyway. I swear by it. So it's no brainer, really.
Yeah.
But again, don't take our words for it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Possibly take their words for it.
I mean, we spoke about these briefly on the show.
We spoke about these before, I think, when it was first announced way back when, because we were talking about this earlier, that we on the show when it first got announced. But
we've actually managed to get our hands on
actually
today,
getting out and firing it is a different kettle of fish.
Yeah.
Like the guns, we know there's quality into it.
Yeah.
We'll do so much, but I think in our perspective and a realisation we've been having the past sort of few years is that players are going to expect us to say nothing but great things about
it. Of course.
Which is why this getting back into the community is, hey, look, take it, play with it, come back, feedback.
Yeah. We can be seen as being biased because we wear the patch every day.
Of course.
So, as somebody that's been around the hobby for a long time, I speak my mind. If I like something, I like it. If I don't 100%. Like it, I don't like it. But do you mind if I take 60 seconds just to tell everybody listening what we mean by taking the technology from the Evo and
by all means,
you
can explain it better than we can.
Can I have the CQB?
Thank you, mate.
So, everything externally is as you'd expect from this sort of platform. And when we say, I'm finding sort of saying TM spec, 1-to-1, that AEG sort of specification when it comes to aftermarket parts, it's all there so that you can still do what you want with it. The thing with the Evo and my, not so much criticism, but where I like maybe other platforms is that you're limited to what you can do to it externally. And Airsoft's a fashion show, in my opinion. It's how you look. We spend so much money on rigs and camos that aren't effective at all, but you look
But they look cool.
Exactly.
They look Gucci.
And it's the Gucci. Yeah, it used to be Ali.
Yeah,
Ali AF. And it's about how you look. And the Evo, you can do a few bits to it. Really, it is how it performs. When something of this kind of platform, you can still kind of toy with it and do what you like. You don't like the stock? Throw a different stock on there. You don't like the front end? Put your own front end on there. But externally, we wanted something that was aggressive, that really stood out, that screams quality. And I'll let you guys say what you think of the external quality rather than me say it's mint, because I think it's mint. But then with a very unique twist. I don't think there's anything quite identical, or even, I wouldn't say not close, because there's so many different variations of these kind of guns, but it stands out.
Yeah,
and especially when you hear it as well. But internally, sorry, I went on a tangent. We've got the same base motor that's in the standard Evo. We've got the compression and gear set straight out of the Evo, because they're all version 2 compatible parts. The real big difference is, of course, the gearbox shell, because the Evo's got its own proprietary shell. But other than that, what we've been able to take out of the Evos from the production side of things and put in here has meant it's kept costs down. Sure, I think it's affordable for what it is, but everybody's got a budget, and it falls within some people's, it falls out of some out of others. But by utilising parts we already got that had already sort of withstood the test of time and kind of proven, we've been able to try and throw these in here and get that same performance out. So yeah, motor, gear set, compression set. It really is only the spring guide, the gearbox shell, and the tappet plate that are all sort of new parts for this gun over the Evo. But that being said, of course, completely version 2 compatible. Rotary style hop up, because they're flavour of the year for the last couple of years. Everybody's gone that route, and there is a nice positive click to it. The 6.03 tight bore barrel. Whether you still consider a 6.03 tight bore these days is, because that's the standard now, isn't it?
Yeah.
You don't see 0.08 or 07s like you used to get out of your China clones and things like that. A 70-degree rubber in there. For UK, would you go 60? Maybe. Everybody swaps rubbers out and nubs, because everybody's got a preference.
Yeah.
But it does mean you can lift them heavyweight BBs again straight out of the box. We designed the front end. The stock was sort of licensed again through Hera, who've got a great relationship with, and you've already mentioned the PTS grip.
So that's the real steel one.
Yeah, the real steel component being the stock. The one thing is, versus the Evo, it doesn't sound the same. Shoots in terms of responsiveness, and like you said, the programmability. You won't go out listening for an Evo and sort of ID this. But that's the only real thing I can put my finger on as to how it's different. But I'm just really excited to get this in people's hands and get them shooting it, get them excited. And is there anything you guys sort of wanted to know about, or anything that you didn't cover, or?
I don't think
We
so.
all-
I think we've covered it in fair detail.
Yeah.
I think
You will see us do.
it'd be great to
There'll be some
segue.
shooting
Yes.
Yeah, it'd be
Oh,
great
brilliant.
to segue to these videos.
Yes.
Your face when you first shot it, going,
Ooh.
because that's
Yeah, it was the look
Yeah.
of, that's naughty.
Yeah.
And as you mentioned, the ETU in there being programmable, all done through the trigger. You don't need any external devices. You don't need to plug it into your phone or anything like that. Stick your battery in and throw the select lever across. You let the motor go, and then there's loads of instructions along. We've got a video online, I think, of how to
We've
program
got a
it.
video and we've got instructions on the landing page, actionsportgames.com/h-15.
And the last thing I didn't mention was 11.1 ready out the box, even in this M95 variation. We do hear a lot of people come back to us and say, why can't I use an 11.1 in my Evo? It's supposed to be all singing, all dancing, high quality, AG. There are limitations to what you can do, and because we build them as we do in Denmark, you just swap that spring out. The 11.1, if you're running semi, you're probably going to be all right for a long, long time.
Yeah.
And I know people that have run their M95 Evos on 11.1s and had no issues.
I've always run my Evo on an 11.1.
Yeah, the 9,999 people that do,
Yeah.
and you have an issue you never hear from, the one person selling the input.
Yeah.
Yep. But tangent aside, throw your 11.1 in there, out the box, and you're good to go. So
I think between us, we might end up picking one of them up, mightn't we?
I think so. Yes, definitely.
and who's going to get
We'll
to
be-
use it the most?
I was going to say we'll be fighting
Probably
over
me
it.
if you still like your Evo.
Have
We'll
you
be
mentioned
fighting
the
over it.
magazines?
I did sing their praises to them.
Yeah.
but
They
they're
are
not
nice mags.
Yeah, 180 round polymer midcap, which I think in terms of capacity wise, once you start creeping up 200 and above, that's when you can start encountering issues with midcaps. But they feed flawlessly, even at, we clock this at, I think it's 25 rounds a second
But we mag dumped all three
Yeah.
of these
Yeah.
and
Fed
never
like
had
a
an issue
dream,
with
yeah.
feeding.
Yeah,
No.
nothing.
They comes in packs of 3s. They feed in everything else I've put them in as well, regardless of brand and what you got. So
That's the big thing about this particular popular platform.
yes,
Is the modularity of it.
Yeah.
So we've found a lot of our customers have just, once they see the mags and they've gone, hang on, they take a lot of the mags just to pass along to people to put into their other platforms, again, because we're trying to be as modular as possible with this one.
Yeah.
So certain sacrifices had to be made. I know the biggest one that a lot of people like to keep reminding us of is the empty mag detection. But it's like, well, vast compatibility or increased cost for
Mag
a
detection.
mag detection.
the other thing is somebody goes out and there's a particular brand of rifles similar to this that have slightly different features, and we'll know where we're going, that might have the empty mag detection, but you spend a very similar amount, if not a little bit more on that than this, and then spend that same amount again, upgrading it internally, ripping everything out, because you want to chase that magic 350 FPS figure that everybody thinks is the magic number. And you've spent twice as much as opposed to what you can get these for, and literally out of the box, whether you want the 3-round burst, whether you want semi-safe if you want to DMR lock them. It is a true quick change through the buffer tube. So you can stick that maybe M120 spring in, get it up to around 400 feet per second, 1.2 joules, something along those lines.
Yeah.
And do what you want with it. And then the next game, you want to run it again at CQB like the next weekend, just swap that spring out and you're away.
Yeah. Definitely things to consider with this one, isn't there?
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
The big one that Adam's going to be excited about. P10C, the newest addition to the lineup from ASG in terms of, well, at least for the pistols. What's your thoughts? You finally got to properly have some time.
We all know
months.
how long I've been going on about the P10C.
I know how long you've been going on about it.
Yeah.
Sick of
Post-its that you kept behind,
probably, yeah. The nasty ones.
The photo that goes up behind the desk at NAF, do not serve this man.
I wondered why you took that with the board that you were shooting at. I wondered why you took that picture, but I couldn't quite see it. No, joking aside, I got to have a little play with the one at NAF. Loved it there and then.
That one.
Now you got the final, the retail version.
Got to play with it. This is the version that I want, or I'm going to be looking at getting, because I can put my optic on it. I can put a tracer unit on the front for CQB, that kind of thing. Just the kick off it from CO2. I love it. I think it's wicked.
As we said earlier as well, the minute you go down and you start, because the noise it makes is unbelievable. So the minute you get into tight corners and tight corridors with that thing, people are going to know if you're shooting at them. Might just be the noise that scares them away more than anything. I'm not going to lie there.
More than anything else, but and then one of the standout things for me as well is having the hop, being able to adjust the hop through the top, so in through there with your finger, rather than having to take the top slide off.
Shoot a couple of shots, it's not quite right. Take it off again. And,
exactly. And there's been times where I've been like, I can't be bothered to take the slide off again to do it. That's about right. Whereas that, I just feel like you could just fine tune it and have it absolutely perfect.
I think most airsofters have been there at some point with the hop unit across one device or another. I just gone, you know what, sod it. I'll aim higher, I'll aim lower.
That'll do.
Yeah, you'll lob it at him.
Whereas that, you can just take the time just to get that little bit of fine tuning and have it exactly how you want it. And we're
glad it's been a long time coming.
Yeah.
We're glad it's put. Does it meet your expectations?
I was going to say, I think it's definitely
definitely. Like I say, I've had the P09 previously, slightly different sort of pistol again, but that was a flawless pistol for me, and it was an absolute workhorse. So I envisage this is going to be the same. So
I've got
no problem with buying another ASG pistol.
It's got a lot to live up to.
Yeah.
It's not going to cause too much damage to your wallet.
No.
Very affordable. About you two guys?
I liked it a lot. It kicks like a mule. And like you said, you can add everything you want. I was saying to Adam earlier, actually, tracer unit, O light on the bottom of it with a 1500 lumen strobe on it, and
Yeah.
that optic is just going to be obnoxious in CQB, and it's going to just rip the competition at the end of the day. You know, you get a few mags for that, you could run around with that and just have the most fun.
Basically, what these two said, but I'm looking forward to something else that you'll get to see in due course. But I've had a little play today, and I'm very excited about it. So, yeah.
Would that happen to be one of the Evos by chance? Or would it be the secret project?
The secret project.
I know the Evos put a smile on your face.
Oh, absolutely. They
I
always
don't know
do.
what the secret project is. I'll grill you later.
We can't reveal that one. That's
No.
Another at least couple of weeks, months off before we can officially start announcing.
Oh, that one.
Yeah.
The loud one.
The loud one.
The
loud one.
Yeah.
But
Put
you
it this
guys
way,
will get to see us.
As
have
soon
a
as
little
we
play
get
with that
told by
in due
JB
course.
that we're allowed to tell you, we'll tell you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, without giving too much away, just in terms of an overall description of how it felt to test that particular product. So I'm not trying to give away what type of product it is as well.
Yeah,
How did it make you feel testing it?
it was good.
It was just
Smiles.
epic. Smiles all around, absolutely.
I think
Like, the
that's all we
first
need to
shot
say.
was
It,
just incredible. Like,
yeah.
I just can't.
And let's say
need it
no
already.
more, just so
Yeah.
we don't,
Yeah.
Yeah.
we don't
Accidentally say
drop
something.
anyone
Yeah.
into
No, that is
yeah.
it. I don't want to
I think
overstep
it
the
says-
boundaries. So,
I think it says a lot about your product when I think it was the second shot.
yeah.
You just lowered it and just turned over and just went, I need one.
Was there a giggle at
Two
any
shots
point?
in.
Oh, lots,
yeah.
lots.
Lots of videos.
Yeah, and then it just smiles each
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Can I just grab the P10C? Sorry to be that.
Which
guy.
one?
Yeah, either. It don't matter. I'm just going to, if it's all right, just kind of do similar with this
Yeah,
as we
yeah.
did the H15
Yeah,
again.
absolutely.
Give us an overview.
Right, so Striker 5 pistol, obviously. Polymer lower, alloy upper. The two versions we've got are, well, this one's not really got a name. I keep calling it the vanilla version because it's kind of a starting point. If you want to add the optic plate, the threaded barrel, the ambi mag release, you can do that. In fact, somebody's already done that to this one. I didn't know it. So that those options are there. Then we've got the tactical. It's the optic ready, but really it is the tactical version. Really nice sort of two-stage trigger. As we said, ambi mag release, CO2. I think you guys have talked about as well.
Yeah.
We're pushing 3+ magazines out of a single bulb at one joule. A lot of people's criticisms about CO2 pistols is, they struggle maybe sometimes getting them through chrono on sites because they're just a bit too powerful. Well, we've managed to keep that down while getting the efficiency in cold weather out of the CO2. Resembles other Striker Fire pistols from Central European countries in terms of takedown. Just got the two tabs on the side, slide forward. You've already mentioned the hop, can adjust without taking the pistol down. The threaded barrel's great, 14mm counterclockwise, so all your traces you've already got going to drop straight on there.
Test a couple of tracers and have some fun with those as well.
Yeah.
Just, you're already eyeballing up for CQB. So, well, we've got some tracers. Let's slap
Yeah,
some tracers.
yeah.
Turn the lights off and
Really
have some
not
fun. Why not?
This is it. The one thing I did like about this as well was the mags don't look like CO2 mags. The bulb's nice and tucked away, so we don't have one here to show you, but it's just tucked away into the mag. So you look at it, when JB first said this is CO2, I looked
You
at it and
wouldn't
went,
know, yeah.
that's green gas. What's he on
Yeah,
about? It looks
yeah.
like it's only
Green,
when you
yeah.
actually look at it. It looked like a green gas mag, but it is.
Yeah, no little side windows to
Yeah.
see the CO2 stick in. Some people might like that. But I
I mean,
appreciate where
there's
you're
a
coming
practical
from.
element to it. It might make it easier to get the bulb out at the end of the day. But yeah, like you say, it resembles what it's. And just the last thing is the back straps that we pop in there as well. They're all marked, and I only noticed this very recently. And that's really poor of me. But they are marked small, medium, large on the back strap, so you know what your preference is. And that's as easy as knocking a roll pin out with. You use an Allen key if you want. If you've not got your punch. Other than that, really, like I said this earlier, there's really no tools required to do anything to this pistol, whether it's take the barrel out to clean it, whether it's, if you want to change the rubber or the barrel itself, you can take it all down without any tools. The only thing you need is the Allen key for the rear sight. The Optic Ready does also come with the rear sight in the box as well. So if you've not got that, you say you're looking at getting a red dot for it later down the line, go for the Optic Ready, pop the rear sight on for the time being. and you're kind of future-proofing yourself.
Yeah, that's really cool.
We will be bringing these out and about with us a lot in the next few weeks and months. So if you guys want to
make sure you have a go, get your hands on
and
them.
let us know where you want to have a crack with it. But
informed choice for sure.
They're just, I mean, what we're on the 15th. By the end of this week, they should be in stores in the UK. Some places have already got them for pre-order as well.
Cool. So by the time you've seen this, it should be coming out the following day.
Absolutely.
Fingers crossed I can
If
get
you can get your hands on one.
Depends if I edit it in time as well.
Yeah.
Well, we finally got to full auto without limitations. I know we can't sell it in this country, but the CNC, come on. That was a big smile for sure.
Oh, absolutely. Same as...
Insert video here.
Yeah, you'll get to see... Insert video here. You'll get to see a few videos of us shooting it, and it was just amazing. I can't fault it. I need one in my life. Unfortunately, I can't have one. But it was possible. Just amazing.
Just move elsewhere.
Yeah, just the slight problem of not living in the UK.
It was to do with, again, because of the tolerances and just overview, because a load of people say just slam an N95 in there and it's like, well, we can, but because of the tolerances, it kills itself. It can't, it's designed around that 120 spring and everything's timed perfectly around that. So when you just adjust anything, and people say, oh, it can't because of this and this. It can, because again, this you're talking finite tolerances. This thing is being pushed to its limit.
The CNC edition has really been a battle of love to get it over the line, and the guy involved with the project and getting it finished. Again, I say it sort of put blood, sweat, and tears into making it what it is. And we are the outliers, unfortunately, in UK with our sort of our dual and FPS limits, and our market is global. And he tried. I will. Everybody that wants a CNC edition, he really did try to so many different ways of making sure that when you picked it up out of the box, it never faltered. And don't get me wrong, nobody can say their product's never going to falter. You know.
Yeah.
We have things in place like our UK-based service centre. If something does go wrong, little plug there. But we want everybody to have the best experience. And if we weren't confident, as I say, there's very little left under a rock to make sure that thing would sort of run flawlessly. And like I say, on the M120, beautiful, rapid, loud, really consistent, great. But the moment that you change that formula, it's a recipe. You've got your favourite meal, you've got all your ingredients, you change, one of them ingredients for something else, not quite right. And as Jack said, the sort of tolerances that those CNC components are sort of like timed to, and we just weren't there. All cards on the table. Rather than release something that we want to say is a very premium, top of the range product, and they weren't that affordable is probably the best way I can say it. Or they were more expensive, I should say. If we released something that was subpar, we wouldn't be doing our customers, any kind of favors. So,
and you wouldn't be doing the product just to see
exactly.
It,
it is our flagship Evo.
Yeah.
You really can't take that gun much further.
Yeah.
The CNC machine gears, the gearbox gets a little bit more treatment, the motor that goes in there, all the compression components that are, again, just because we do the hand build process in Denmark, it's tiny little things like just a fine shave of the tappet plate to make sure that the feeding at that high rate of fire. The selector plates are all manually just fit to within an inch of being sort of working great or sort of just putting a new one in there, for lack of a better term. But because we control that, we can ensure that it gets boxed up and gets to the end user in the best way possible. And that's kind of, I like to think of it as a selling point for ASG that some people might miss when it comes to the Evo and now the H15, is we fine tune, check everything we can do, and we control it from start to finish. You're not just getting something that's been in a container for 3 months at sea and is landing at your door.
Yeah. Something gets highlighted as a potential issue by the community, constructive criticism. We can change it on a dime, react instantaneously, send out fixes if there need to be recalls. The next batch can be done. And as Clark said, If you're getting it from more traditional methods, ordering 600 to 1,000 to get the price right, you go, that's a lot that we've got to wait another 3 to 6 months for it to come over on sea
Yeah.
to get it fixed. You can, doing it in Europe comes with a slight more premium, but with benefits too.
Yeah.
So it depends what you want.
Yeah. If you are the owner of, you go out and buy a H15 or an Evo, our Proline products, and this is all over our website, it's no secret, some people may not know, it come with an 18-month manufacturer's warranty, so long as, you've not fettled with it, you've not opened it up, or you've not broke it yourself. But if something fails, send that, or get in touch with your retailer or where you purchased it from. They get in touch with me if you're in the UK, and either they can fix it as authorised ASG service centres, or that can come back to us. You can have our in-house technician tear it down, find what's gone wrong, get it fixed up, and get it back out to you in as quick as possible. And there aren't many other brands. Sure, a lot of stores have their own service centres and service sections, and warranty's a really weird thing with airsoft guns, because you've got your QC stickers on like gearboxes, and when something's been gone into. A lot of places will do their best to get out of, that's your fault, that's your problem there. But we're there to support you, because we believe in the product. As I say, up to 18 months, as long as you're not deliberately ripping things out and then, I put this in it, and you forgot to put the spur gear back in and something's not working. So we're really there to help. And touch wood, those instances are few and far between, because again, the control we have before it leaves the factory. But should anything happen, we've got your back.
Absolutely.
Key educational piece for you there. If something goes wrong with your ASG product, take it back to the retailer or the store that you bought it from and ask them to talk to us about it.
Yeah. And we'll get you sorted.
Yeah, especially for you, the UK guys. I mean, it's international, but
no, we don't care about everybody elsewhere. It's just
it's exclusive.
That's a joke.
But it's more something that's fairly newish to the UK for the past couple of months. So instead of it going all the way back to Denmark and through customs and everything, and then getting fixed there and then having that same journey back, that has now been absolutely reduced to, I think, like a week or so, a little over a week.
We've had turnarounds where a store has sent us something, it's arrived with us at the start of the week, and we've shipped it back out before the end.
There you go.
That's good going.
Yeah.
That's official ASG repair as well. Not to slander you do a job that I can only do bare bones.
Well, it is the thing with, if you've got an on-site tech, or you've got your shop's got a technician, and they fix something for you in the gun, that warranty is then gone. They've got to put their own sort of their own
parts.
No, it's they're then to say my work is guaranteed for this amount of time or whatever. Whereas if you bring it back to us, you've still got that time frame from point of purchase. So there's a lot of advantages. And as I say, a lot of people might buy one of these, rip everything out day one, and then put their own build in it. And you want to do that, great. But we've picked everything in here.
Yeah.
Same with the Evo.
That works nice.
Yeah.
Cool. I'm very aware time's getting on, so if we quick fire some of these, maybe.
Sure. You got to shoot a bunch of the other things, and the Shadow 2 Orange Special Edition and Bronze, but I want to pick your brain about one of our gun related products that got quite a bit of interest from you. Is our newly launched PCO1 plate carrier.
Here's one you bought earlier.
Oh look at that!
Wow, conveniently placed.
Hashtag not sponsored.
I like it. I do like it. Great bit of kit. I love the quick release you've done with it. I did say, of course,
videos of that.
We've got some videos just to show you how quick this is as well. We'll throw in or upload at some point.
Yep.
We did sort of say that it's going to end up with us ending up unclipping each other all the time, but especially now we know the next. But the fact that you get basically everything you see here as standard with the package says everything. They're decent foam in there as well. You're going to have to listen out for your hits a bit more, because it is quite rigid, but
Very sturdy. Yeah.
that's down to the players at
It's
the
got
end
a
of the
little
day.
bit of.
Yeah, it's got a bit of giving it, but
My personal preference is I quite like it. It's not too soft that as soon as you do it, it's melding to you.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
you know,
It's nice
It's
to
not
have
so rigid
something
that
that's a
you're
bit
walking
more
around like
rigid.
this,
it
Yeah.
fights back just enough.
Yeah.
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 And if something hits it, you end up sounding a bit like a drum.
And it's give or take an inch thick as well, the foam plates.
Yeah.
You know, they're quite substantial.
Yeah,
It's not
they
just
are,
your,
Yeah.
It's not your yoga
Yeah,
mat
it's what-
that
yeah.
we've definitely all
Yeah.
put in.
Yeah, definitely not.
It
a
saves
folded yoga
getting
mat.
to worry about to get plates to put
Yeah.
in it.
Yeah.
Should
this
you
is
want
the thing
to
as
do
well.
that?
You buy your plate carrier, you've then got to buy your pouches, you've got to buy the dangler,
Yeah,
you've got to
exactly.
buy everything else to go on it. Here, you've got,
Everything
especially
is
if you're
standard.
getting into it, you've got a decent setup here to get into the sport with.
Or if you did already have your own plate carrier, etc., these pouches you can
Yeah.
buy separate and just stick them on whichever you
So-
want.
1 inch buckles on there, so if you've already got those plates on the front, or you've got your mag pouches.
It does come with the bit that you can stick on the front instead, and then put your own pouches on. Should you have different
I
ones?
think you're saying they're doing Evo pouches as well.
Yeah. So we've got, and this is the only time I'll say it, M4 style pouches on there.
Stanag.
And then we've got, so for supporting our Evo, we've got Evo ones as well.
But they will fit other 9mm style magazines.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
as you-
And yeah,
So black, green, and tan.
Not just green.
Uh,
Really have to push this because
Go on.
green winds
Go
me
on.
up because it's always olive drab. Ranger green,
Ranger
Ranger
green.
green,
There we go.
which is chef's kiss. Love Ranger green.
But
The
if you're starting
greatest of
out and you're
green.
looking
The
for a plate
greatest of
carrier,
green.
I'd say get everything as standard.
Yeah,
Very
so
good.
that's the plate carrier itself. So as part of the kit, it's the
We'll put it on.
the M4/Stanag pouches included. The little what did you call it again? Because
The dangler.
the
The dangler pouch.
the dangler
The-
pouch.
the
I keep
nicer
calling
way
it the
of-
crotch protector. But there you go.
As
And
modelled
as
by
well as
Clark.
the foam plates as well. So it's literally
Yeah.
is you
Everything
take it
you
in.
I also
you're
quite
ready
like
to go.
the Velcro, not Velcro, the elastic bit here that you could stretch out and put a TQ in if you were going to run
Yeah.
sort of any sort of med kit with it or that kind of thing. So
Laser
Or even a
cut
couple of
side
pyros.
panels.
yeah, a couple of pyro.
Yeah.
It's got the loops around the side so that you can run cables for any comms gear, etc. that you were going to
HPA
run.
lines
So.
as well.
HPA lines, yeah.
And we've had this here in the office for months now while this has been under sort of well, we've taken the project on and we've all worn it and we've all played in it and it ain't once been washed.
Yeah.
But it's,
I wondered what the smell was.
It's the smell of success.
I've paid ridiculous.
This was a
amounts
white
for
T-shirt
plate
when we got
carriers.
it.
And this again for what you get is going to be very affordable. And we get that there's a lot of wearables on the market.
It's something a bit different though as well.
Yeah, and we want you to be able to come to us and get everything you need.
It's becoming more of a one-stop shop,
Yeah.
especially some
No,
of the
yeah, because that was
accessories
the other
coming
thing
out as well.
with the P10C, wasn't it? You've got the
Doing the
holster
holsters as
for
well.
it as well coming.
Yeah.
I was hoping to have it back. It's out on loan for review at the moment, but unfortunately, that didn't quite
That's
happen.
the way of things sometimes, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's nice that you could go out, you could get the P10C, you can go straight out, you can get the holster straight off the bat.
Yeah.
There's
If you want a red
many,
dot, if you want a tracer.
there's many other things in the
Or-
pipeline for the P10 that even though you've signed the NDAs, I can't even reveal those. But yeah, it's becoming our flagship pistol, certainly for 2024. We've supported it to begin with out the gate. So again, the holster, if you get the as Clark calls it, the vanilla, and you don't go for the optic ready threaded, you can buy them all separately. So if you just prefer the look of that, and you want to upgrade after the fact and not buy a whole new pistol, I mean, you can buy a whole new pistol, or you can just buy the parts and upgrade it yourself. And it's just that level of support. And then we are in talks with certain other companies and things to
It's going to have a long lifetime.
Watch this
provide
space.
some wider support. I can't say more than that.
That's
but,
not to say that the Shadow 2 or the PO9 or the
we're
other
not-
assortment to CZ pistols and other pistols.
We're not killing off anything else.
No.
It's just it's kind of like with the Evo, we support all the other platforms. With the Evo, probably just gets a little bit more love.
Yeah.
Now transitioning into the the H15 and the insert bleep here for the next in the series. So this, in terms of pistols, is just going to get that little bit more love from us, and we want it to do well. It's not as we alluded to earlier, it's not an off the shelf design. We have put the investment in, a lot of time, a lot of money.
Yeah,
it's ours. We need to support it. We want to get people on board. We'll put it in people's hands, let you make your own decision on that. Again, I get it. The badge, I'm biased. That's fine. But it's these third parties that we're trying to kind of, speak with. If you were at NAF, you may have seen us talking to a select number of them.
Let them wait.
But we'll let you quickly go back to NAF website. Who was there? Who might they been talking to? What did he mean?
Lots of people.
Speaking to far too many people. Cool. In the interest of time, I was going to ask you what you think the future for Airsoft holds in 2024. Is there anything exciting in the pipeline that you're perhaps looking for from
the Chairsofter private game on the 9th of March?
Where?
At the jail.
Yeah, just got to get that in.
Other than that, we're not going to an AF this year. We're doing the government Airsoft Midlands.
You've not mentioned that you weren't going to now.
Yeah, I know. It's not like we made a big post about it. There was a lot of debate on the socials, but other than that, this year really for me is going to be quite quiet due to life commitments. But I'll just sort of come back stronger in 2025. The show's not going anywhere.
No, the show's still going on.
I'm just going to rely more on Adam and Adi to tell me what's going on out there this year.
From us to probably
visit
as many different sites
as possible, for sure.
Well,
always love to try new sites. So if anybody's watching, have any suggestions, always happy to hear them.
Over.
Just not first and only.
Yeah, we don't do that.
We're staying out of that one.
Yeah.
But
looking forward to travelling, meeting new people, and seeing where the year takes us.
ASG can just stop releasing new products for 5 minutes.
We might get
5
minutes. This is the thing, you work around them Monday, Friday, 9 to 5, and when it comes to Saturday, you don't get a chance to actually...
But once this and the H15's out, you can stop for a bit and then come and play with it. So.
Not yet. I've got some other things to do.
Maybe the other thing.
But yeah, so I think really and truthfully, that wraps us up nicely. So thanks for your time today, guys. Thanks for the hospitality.
Thank you for entertaining the back and forth of changing up the format of the show slightly.
No, it's been great, and it's been good to get up here and actually see this in person.
Yeah.
We'd love to have you on the show. I'd love to be on it. Tell you what, why don't you come here and then you can actually shoot the stuff?
Well, this is it as well, and hopefully the first of a few on location shows we can do all the time.
Yeah.
Well, next time you've got to come to Denmark. We'll do it from there.
Yeah. So I'll tell you what, let me know. Passport's ready to go.
Completely different experience out there.
Yeah, I can imagine.
And maybe we can put to rest for those non-believers out there. But again, that the Evo's not made in Denmark. Oh, God, maybe if you guys film it and show it, people will find
maybe.
There's still some deniers of that. It is 100% made in Denmark.
And the H15.
And the H15. Please stop saying it's not. And that I've just baited it now, haven't I? Watch the comment. Yes, it is.
So I think all we can really do there is wrap up the show. So if you want to get in touch with the guys, best way is through social media. We don't want them spamming your personal accounts. So
any ASG socials is managed by myself. I will 100% pick it up.
He reads every single comment.
I'd read every single comment. Just because I don't reply doesn't mean I'm not reading it.
He's always watching.
Always watching. And for Clark as well, feel free to ping through on social.
Yeah, I've got my my work account on Facebook, Clark ASG. You'll find me commenting and holding my tongue a few posts.
And you know where to find us, guys. So that's it for this week. Take care of yourselves, and we'll see you next time on the Chairsofter Show.